Today, the strongest MCs of the big three will be going head to head in a versus battle. Naruto Uzumaki vs Ichigo Kurosaki. This is a video I always plan to make based on their normal stats, but I want to make that one more special, so it will come later. I decided to make an equal stats video instead. So, what exactly does equal stats mean? It's a condition where the stats of attack potency, speed and durability is equalized for the characters going up against each other in a hypothetical deathmatch. It's one of the best ways to determine who the better fighter is in terms of their skill and battle abilities. It should also be noted that I'm going to be using the specific forms shown in the title, which is 4th Great Ninja War 6-part Sage Mode Naruto at the end of Shippuden versus 1000 Year Blood War True Bankai Ichigo at the end of Bleach. And I'm using them at the peak of these particular forms, so there won't be any multipliers because that would obviously defeat the purpose of the equal stats. And in case you're wondering how there will be a winner if AP, durability and speed are already equalized, then watch the video till the end to find out. Let's break it down. Attack potency and durability. Since it's an equal stats fight, AP and durability is already equalized, which means that both characters have relative power to damage each other and somewhat tank each other's attacks as well, as there's no considerable gap in attack power. So if Ichigo is planetary, so is Naruto. When it comes to speed, combat and attack speed as well as their base reaction speed is also equalized, so there won't be any speed blitzing happening in this fight at all. So while Naruto will be FTL, so would Ichigo. Now let's get into the real breakdown. Let's talk about stamina. During his Rasen Shuriken training, Naruto used his multi-shadow clone technique to complete 6 months worth of training in 24 hours. He made 200 clones and they all trained non-stop for 24 hours straight to increase his game time, which is literally 200 Narutos training for 24 hours, which in total would mean he trained for 4,800 hours straight, which is roughly around 6 to 7 months. So basically, he has enough stamina to train for 6 months straight without collapsing, and this was Naruto in his base form at the beginning of Shippuden. Yeah, the dude is a monster. And then we know Naruto in the war arc fought the strongest characters in the verse non-stop for 3 days straight with hardly any breaks at all. After splitting his chakra with over 10,000 shinobis, he was fighting and defending the Shinobi Alliance at the same time against the likes of Obito, Madara and the Ten Tails, and this was even way before he achieved the 6 parts, which is even stronger than KCM2 Biju mode, the Ten Tails and even 8 gates. For Ichigo, his stamina is completely ridiculous. He was able to train in the Dangai for 3 months straight. And in the Dangai, time passes differently, as 1 year in the real world would be equivalent to 2,000 years in the Dangai. So while Ichigo trained in the Dangai for 3 months, only a couple of days had passed in real time. And keep in mind, this was a Bankai Ichigo pre-Mugetsu pre-1000 Year Blood War. So as you can see, these two characters are monsters when it comes to the stamina department. They are so relative, might as well be equal stats in these two. Moving on to regeneration. Ichigo's regeneration is pretty broken as he's able to heal slashes and cuts fairly easily. And even in his fight against Aizen, even though he tanked the attack, his entire left arm got burned by Aizen's Fraggle Blast, but as soon as he powered up into his final Getsuga form, the injury was completely healed up. It's insane. And we can't forget his best regeneration feat. He had a Zero Oscuras fired right through his chest by a second resurrection Ukiura, and he regenerated the entire wound in his Vasto Lorde transformation. I'm talking about an entire hole in his chest and it got closed up quick. To this day, I'm not even sure what happened here. I don't know if he died and got revived or was close to death and got brought back, but he's definitely not an Aspo if that's what you're wondering, cause Kubo foreshadowed it in Ichigo's previous interaction with White. But anyway, moving on to Naruto's regeneration, and what can I say? He's a freak just like Ichigo. He can heal stab wounds almost immediately. Literally as soon as the blade gets taken out, he's already healing. More than that, he can even heal and regrow his vital organs like it's nothing, as we see Sasuke Chidori right through Naruto's lung. I'm talking about an entire lightning fist right through his lung, and he just closed it up in a couple of seconds, bro. Even attacks from Gentle Fist users that ignore durability and destroy internal organs. Attacks that target even the heart itself couldn't take Naruto down without the QB chakra involved. So yeah, top tier shit. Moving on to abilities and combat arsenal. Ichigo's combat arsenal was pretty basic for the most part of the series. He just had his basic Reiatsu slash, which is the Getsuga Tensho, and it's amped up with any of his transformations like the Hollow Mask, Final Getsuga Tensho and Full Bring. But in his Vasto Lorde form, he can fire Ceros, which has a wider range of destruction than his Getsuga Tensho. And in 1000 Year Blood War, he gained a couple more varieties like its Getsuga Jujisho, which is a double Getsuga Tensho fired in a cross-shaped form. and in his Horn of Salvation through Shikai form, he is able to combine his Getsuga Tensho and Grand Ray Zero fused together to create some Abomination Crescent Slash. That attack was crazy. He also has abilities like the Flash Step, which increases movement speed, Sonido in his Hollow form, and with his Quincy genetics, he's able to use Blood Vein to increase his defenses as well. He also has the ability to airwalk and fly. I think that's pretty much it for Ichigo up to 1000 Year Blood War. For Naruto, his arsenal was also pretty basic at the beginning of the series, with him mostly spamming shadow clones and then following up with a taijutsu barrage. But eventually he got more abilities like the summoning jutsu, which gives him the ability to summon frogs for help. He has his standard Kagebunshin, which is him just cloning himself over 1000 times as a kid with just his chakra alone. He can also create Rasengans of different sizes and different power levels, of course. After more training, he created the Rasen Shuriken, which is just Rasengan on steroids, having Wind Chakra Blade potent enough to destroy targets on a cellular level. When he unlocked and activates Sage Mode, he gains the ability to perceive people and his surroundings, giving him extra sensory abilities. And he also has Danger Sense, kinda like his own Spider Sense. He also has abilities like Frog Strike, which ignores durability by sending shockwaves directly into the target's inner body. The nature energy aura around him can also attack his targets as a second impact if the direct hit itself misses. Think of it as Naruto's version of Yuji's Divergent Fist. With QB Chakra, he can create multiple arms for attack and defense, and those arms can count up to 9. He can also sense negative intent and malice towards him or anyone else at all, even in the slightest. He can also fire the Tailed Beast Bomb, which is just his own Zero basically, a bomb blast attack with a pretty wide area of effect and destructive capacity. And then in his 6 parts mode, he can use all 5 chakra natures pretty easily. With the chakra of all Tailed Beasts, he can infuse them into his Rasen Shurikens to create different elemental Rasen Shuriken bombs. He also has the ability to fly in this mode, and he has the Truth Seeker Orbs, which ignore durability and destroy anything they touch beyond the spiritual level, which is the soul, and they can be used for attack and defense as well. He also has the ability to seal his targets using Magnet Release. With 6-part Sage Mode, he also gained extra dimensional awareness to fight and sense beings that exist in a far reality from his own, like Madara's Limbo clones, of course. So yeah, I think that's it for Naruto. I mean, he also has petty tricks like transformation jutsu. He can transform himself, his clones, and objects into anything he wants, pretty much. Moving on to hacks. I'm pretty sure I listed some of them somewhere in abilities and arsenal, but for emphasis sake, let's run it again. Ichigo doesn't really have any hacks abilities, to be fair. He doesn't have durability negation attacks as well. He does have spiritual awareness though, which is how he's able to perceive spirits and hollows, so I think that's it for Ichigo. He should also have some resistance to space manipulation, from characters weaker than him at least, like how he was resistant to Aizen's Hado 90. I'm not exactly sure if that's a hack, but anyhow. Naruto's hacks abilities are durability negation with Rasengan and Rasen Shuriken, as well as the Frog Strike, existence erasure with Truth Seeker Orbs, creation of all things with the Sun Seal, which is just Naruto using his ability based on his imagination, sealing jutsu with Magnet Release, Danger Sense and Precognition with Sage Mode, and extra dimensional awareness with 6-part Sage Mode. So that should be everything on Naruto's hacks abilities, unless I'm missing something. But anyway, moving on to combat versatility. Ichigo is purely a swordsman, so his fighting style mainly involves him speeding around and swinging his Zanpakuto. And he's able to switch it up and add a little bit of versatility by firing rare 2-charged attacks like this Getsuga Tensho, and his Zeros as well in his hollow form. Occasionally he's shown to use his hands to fight, but nothing major, just a couple takedowns here and there, but not exactly major skill showcasing in hand-to-hand combat. As for Naruto, he's a hand-to-hand fighter for the most part. Being a master at taijutsu and knowing different martial art styles, he is able to easily outbox some of the most skilled martial artists in the verse. And he can also fight using his ninjutsu as well, making clones, summoning animals, firing chakra attacks like the Rasengan, throwing around Rasen Shuriken and launching nukes with Biju bombs as well. He is also versatile in terms of using weapons to fight, like using Shuriken blades and kunai knives as well. These are all like standard shinobi skills, so it's pretty normal for him. Naruto has also shown decent skill in swordplay and swordsmanship too, and he's pretty good with it, to be fair. Like that time he snatched Sasuke's sword and used it to fight Momoshiki. Or even in Boruto when he used Jigen's staff to fight him, and there's even many instances in Shippuden when he used his kunai to fight, and even in the movies as well. In his 6-part Sage Mode, he even turns his Truth Seeker Orbs into staffs and uses those to fight, so that's something. Let's talk about battle intelligence. For the most part, Ichigo's wins in his fights involve overpowering his opponent and just overcoming every of their attacks with pure overwhelming power and speed. But he's shown that he's capable of assessing the battle, like in his fight with Iban, where he peeped how he kept taunting him to use Bankai and figured out what he was trying to do. And also in his fight against Kyugeopi, when he kept using Sclaviary to dominate and absorb all the Reishi around to buff himself. Ichigo was able to figure out that the crown disc on his head was the real root of that ability, and he was able to circumvent this by destroying it, so Ichigo's battle IQ is pretty valid. Naruto's battle intelligence has always been a major part of his character throughout the series, being tagged the most unpredictable shinobi by Kakashi, one of the most intelligent shinobi to ever live. Naruto, since he was a kid, has shown to come up with ridiculous plans to outwit and outsmart his opponents, like in his fight in the Land of Waves against Zabuza, where he came up with the Shuriken plan with Sasuke to free Kakashi from Zabuza's water prison. Or in his fight against Neji, where he used his multi-shadow clones to fool him. Everybody knows this about Naruto, it's his signature move. He sets up a clone to fool the enemy while the original comes out of nowhere to bang them, and it works every time. He is also very perceptive and analytical, as he's shown to be able to study his opponent's move and come up with the perfect counter plans to deal with them. We see this in almost every of his fights, particularly against the 6 Paths of Pain, how he strategically took them out with all the intel he had gathered. And even in the war arc, he was able to pick up on the Sei Chakra weakness of Jubi Obito, something that Sasuke and Minato couldn't, even though they are considered to be smarter than him. Only him and Tobirama figured it out. So yeah, Naruto's battle IQ is pretty ridiculous, and his unpredictability is even worse as he pulls out the most random tactics out of his head. Now for the final factor, let's talk about their battle experience, and honestly, I don't even think experience makes that much of a difference here, at least not in terms of how long they've been fighting. Ichigo started fighting Hollows and Soul Reapers when he was 15, while Naruto had been in death battles since he was like 12. They both proceeded to take on characters with way more experience than them and still beat them, so age or how long doesn't even matter that much. The only kind of experience worth addressing, in my opinion, is the kind of opponents they faced. Ichigo has faced characters that have insane raw power like Kenpachi, mid to long range attacks like Byakuya, regeneration and nuke blast like Ukiura, immortality and genius level intellect like Aizen, and of course the big bad Yuaba who can see the future. So he's faced pretty much everything in the book. And so has Naruto. He has faced all kinds of abilities out there, from characters who can use different chakra natures, to characters that can fly, to characters that control the 5 senses and opponents with precognition, even the ones that can clone themselves just like him, absorb energy, induce gravity and rip out souls. You get the point. They've seen it all. So now we're done with the analysis. How's the fight gonna go and who is going to win? Well, from here on out, it's pretty self-explanatory. Both combatants are always ready for the smoke, and they both get in gear to beat each other up. They launch at each other. Ichigo is swinging his swords and Naruto is blocking and guarding with his true Chika off staffs. And so they are able to match each other perfectly. They are landing a couple hits here and there. Both characters are tanking them pretty nicely. But the fight gets even more serious as both characters want to get the upper hand, so Ichigo starts firing Getsuga Tensho, and Naruto proceeds to increase the scope of the fight by flooding the entire battlefield with his clones. And this is where things start to lean in Naruto's favor. Both characters are pretty much neck and neck in power and speed, so they would have to figure out ways to corner their opponents to land decisive hits on multiple occasions, and Naruto can make this happen pretty easily as he's got the advantage in numbers. Having the ability to make many clones of himself that are relative to him in power and speed will definitely throw Ichigo off, more so as he's never even faced this kind of ability before. And of course, Ichigo will be able to destroy most of them with his wide range attacks like Getsuga Tensho and Zero, but those clones are only there for a diversion anyway, as the original will probably be around the corner to smack Ichigo to Kingdom Come. It should also be noted that Naruto is definitely going to be able to perceive Ichigo's attacks very well and react to them much easier. Because not only is Naruto used to fighting characters with multi-step precognition like the Sharingan users, he also has abilities like his danger sense awareness hacks and extra perception ability. With this, he will dodge attacks better and also land more of his. While Ichigo will tank most of the attacks, he's only going to get considerably weaker as the fight goes on, as Naruto has attacks that ignore durability on insane levels like the Rasengan and the Rasen Shuriken. While Ichigo is definitely going to be landing sword hits on Naruto, which for the most part are going to be flesh wounds, he will be getting his cells destroyed, which will weaken him as the fight drags on. Even if Ichigo were to land clean hits on Naruto's organs, he can just heal them up, and they are already relative in stamina, so a battle of attrition won't be a way out for Ichigo. Naruto also has the ability to seal his opponent using magnet release, so it's only a matter of creating the opportunity to use it. And if we're keeping it real, Naruto's battle intellect is way higher than Ichigo's. He's factually shown to be more tactical and better at assessing and analyzing battle patterns. And it's not like Ichigo has a wide variety of abilities to analyze in the first place, so it wouldn't even be too much for Naruto to do. Eventually, Naruto is going to wear Ichigo out with a relentless barrage of Durang egg attacks while evading more of his using his perception hacks. On top of having better intellect and a wider variety of abilities, Ichigo is going to get destroyed 10 out of 10 times in an equal stats fight against Naruto. It's just a bad matchup at the end of the day, as Ichigo doesn't have much going for him. If he faces an opponent he can't outspeed and overpower, since that's usually how he wins all of his fights, then for the most part it's never going to end well for him in these types of matchups. That's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making this video a lot. These are two of my favorite MCs ever. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with my analysis and the verdict. For my next equal stats video though, I'm thinking of making a video on Zoro versus Sasuke and 6 parts Naruto versus Gear 5 Luffy, because I feel like Gear 5 Luffy has a lot more abilities in his house now. There's a lot of things he can do. So let me know which one you guys want to see first. Put it in the comments. And I'm only going to be making these videos if this one gets up to 5k views in a month and 200k likes. These videos aren't easy to make, so if you guys want it, you have to work for it though. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Follow me on social media as well. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.